Today I wanted to share a little bit about the type A achieving personality as a response to trauma, and in particular to a developmental abuse dynamic where the child has been pretty afraid that they were going to be harmed. You know, this is something that's in my past, and I see it a lot in clinic as well. And this can then happen in men and women. And one of the threads that I wanted to talk about today is how when we have experienced this deep fear of being harmed when we're young, it can infuse into the person and the personality that we develop and interface with the world when we're adults. And something that I experience myself and am continually working on, and something that I see a lot in some of my clients that have this, I guess, thread in their history and have this type A achieving, reaching, striving personality, is that there's almost an inability not to be running forward and to be growing and expanding and doing great things and managing and planning and controlling. But I think it's the energy of running forward and moving forward that's really interesting. And my sense is that it links back to that feeling of like not being safe in the present moment and trying to find a way to get away from it. So when we've grown up in an abusive environment, there is this feeling of just not being safe here and now, and often at some point we end up fleeing our home and fleeing the environment where the abuse occurred. And I think as we develop our external shells and start to move on in the world as adults, when of course there's no more abuse present, it can transfer into this very unconscious organizing principle to keep going forward. And when we try and when we stop creating or planning or crafting or moving forward, it can feel not only incredibly uncomfortable but terrifying. And I know in my own experience, when I come up to this thread and this spiral again and again, to sit with the discomfort of not expanding and not moving forward and not growing is very intense, and it's very physical for me. And it's more my comfort to just keep going and going and going. So a practice I've been using to support myself to stop continually expanding and going forward, which is actually a running away from before and a running away from now, is to really sit with the somatic sensations that occur when I stop. And for me, it's a very deep co-activated response. So I'll be feeling all those fight or flight, overwhelm symptoms, but I'll also be feeling a freeze and almost like, deer stuck in the headlights. And so for me to sit and kind of repattern that both in my body, using breath, using grounding, sometimes I'll have a good cry, but also in a very cognitive way as well, letting myself know actually I'm okay in the here and now, and sure there's somewhere I'd like to go, but it's not imperative that I get there right now. And I think identifying whether that's at play or not, we can start to look at this sense of urgency. So is there a sense of urgency to move forward? Is there a sense of urgency to expand right now and connect here and build and build and build? And when there's that urgency, to me, that's an indicator that there's something deeper to work with. So I just wanted to share that this morning, something I'm processing with for myself.